Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Come back again with me with our class. In this moment, we are going to continue our lesson talking about the topic that is what a story. You can open your book, Interchange for Students in page 22. But before we continue our lesson today, let's begin our program by reading Al-Fatihah together. May our God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala always blesses us in this world till hereafter. Al-Fatihah. Amin. Dear all students, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much for following my class, start from the first meeting until now. Hopefully that everything that you have already learned can be useful for you. Then if you have any question regarding about our materials, the previous our material, you can contact me in our WhatsApp group. So you don't be hesitate to contact me, just feel free if you have any questions. Okay, so this morning we are going to discuss about Unit 4 with the topic, what a story, from exercise number 1 until number 6. And it will be continued by Ibu Duroh for tomorrow class. Okay. Seeing from the name with the title is what a story. I think you have already think in your mind that we are going to discuss about any kind of the story. Then this is also it's same with our skills, especially with me, that is listening and speaking. So this is for the expected outcomes that will learning for this material today. Then the indicators that you can read by you yourself at your home. Okay, now we continue to the next slide. Okay, we start with state your opinion first, and then if you look at from your book, there are a box of the pictures, and with the title is popular online news categories. Every day, if we watch televisions or we read a newspaper, we can get many kind of the news every day, because so many problems and so many phenomena that the reporters can take from that phenomena, and then they bring into some news. And when we talk about the news, there are so many the categories like entertainment news, sport news, art news, travel news, business news, technology, and etc. Then I think you have your own opinion about the most popular news that every day you can always come or read, or to you want to curious to know about what happens in today. Okay, in these books we can see an animal that is a frog, but it's a new species of frog discovered in Amazon. So Amazon is a forest, a big forest, and then there is a river which is very famous. Then the first questions that we are going to discuss is, in your opinion, which sections contain the most interesting news? The less interest and then the less interesting news. So your duty is you can think at your home which one is the most interesting news, or maybe number one. From the boys, maybe probably mostly they like to know about the sport news, or because we will face the Pilkada, or you can interest with the politics news. So it depends on you yourself. After that, after you make the level from the first is most interesting until 5 is less interesting. Then you have to choose 5 categories. Give an example of a possible type of story for each one. You can give the example about what happened in our country, in Indonesia, such as like politics, business, technology, science, health, or odd news that happens in our country. Okay, you can skip. Then where do you get your news? And what's happening in the news today? Because when we want to make a story, and then the story is talking about the news, we have to know, we have to be such as like being a reporter. So we will come to the place, then we can make some interview, and we come back to our office and we make the news for the information to all the people. Okay, so actually making a news is not simple, but there is a process or step by step to get the news. And then today we are mostly dealing with the hoax. So the hoax is very, very dangerous, especially for happening at now. So if we read the news, and then the news are including the hoax, and it will be very dangerous because the data is wrong, and then they can manipulate the data, and then the information that we get that is wrong, and so the result will be very, very damaged to many people. So we have to avoid the news which is categorized in the hoax. Okay, now we go to the next slide. We are going to talk about the listening, which is the title is surprise endings. And then we are going to listen about podcasts. And then we have to make the categorize which the topic for number 1, number 2, and number 3. So we are going to listen 3 speakers, and then you have to make the categorize which one this news belongs to sport, for example. This news belong to politics, or this news belong to entertainment. And then there is something surprise is always is ending. So you have to know which one is the surprise endings. Okay, now I hope that everyone will be really pay attention to listen about surprise endings. Here we go.
Unit 4. What a story! Page 22, Exercise 2, Perspectives. Surprise endings. Part A. Listen to the news stories. In which news category from Exercise 1 do you think each story belongs?
An attempted robbery took place at Eastern Bank today. A man was trying to rob the bank, but he wasn't very lucky. While he was escaping from the bank, the robber got caught in the revolving door. The police arrived and took the man to jail.
It was a strange soccer match last night. The Bears won the game, but the Lions scored the winning goal for them. As Jake Walters was running toward the ball, he tripped and accidentally kicked it into the wrong goal. The score was Bears 1, Lions 0.
An electrical problem at Pax Arena interrupted a Planets concert last night. The Planets were performing a new song when the lights went out, but the show went on. The Planets continued to play in the dark, and the lights came back on an hour later.
Okay, so that's about our listening, talking about the surprise endings. So if you cannot take some information, you can repeat again by you yourself. So your duty is only to categorize which one the topics for the first speaker, the second, and the third speaker. Now we are going to move to the next slide. Now we are talking about the grammar focus. Today we are going to learn about past continuous versus simple past. Mostly, past continuous and simple past happens in the past because we know from the time this sentence happens in the past, everything. So when we look at the previous slide in the podcast box, we can find many sentences that written down in the past. And then when we want to write about the story, or we want to discuss or tell or speak with the story, mostly we talk about the past because the problems or maybe the events always come up in the past. So I think you have already know about the pattern, how we can build the past continuous and also a simple past. Simple past, the pattern is subject plus verb to plus object. And then for past continuous, subject plus was or were, it depends on the subject itself, and plus verb ing and plus object. And then, so what is the functions of the past continuous and then simple past when we want to make into one sentence? Use the past continuous for an ongoing action in the past, and we use the simple past for an event that interrupts that action. Then we want to make past continuous and simple past to be one in our sentence. The example is like, while he was escaping from the bank, the robber got caught in the revolving door. So when we read this sentence, actually the robber want to escape from the bank. Jadi kalau kita bahasakan dalam bahasa Indonesia, penjahat yang merampok di bank tersebut ingin melarikan diri. Tetapi di saat bersamaan, dia tertangkap ketika berada di pintu. Okay, so there are two events, but an action are ingoing that we can release in the past continuous and also in simple past. Okay, so we are going to listen about the speaker from Grammar Focus. Here we go.
Page 23, Exercise 3, Grammar Focus. Past continuous versus simple past. Use the past continuous for an ongoing action in the past. Use the simple past for an event that interrupts that action.
While he was escaping from the bank, the robber got caught in the revolving door.
As Jake was running toward the ball, he tripped and kicked it into the wrong goal.
The planets were performing a song when the lights went out.
All right, so there are three examples of past continuous and also simple past. They make to be one sentence. To make sure that you understand very well about this material, our grammar focus today, you can open your book page 23 in grammar focus, and you should answer the question in part A and part B by you yourself at home. All right, then I will continue after you have already finished to answer all of the questions. Okay, now we talk about pronunciations, and our topic is about intonation in complex sentences. Complex sentences, it means that there are two sentences in one sentence. So actually there are two sentences and then they make in one sentence. So for example, while divers were walking off the coast of Florida, they discovered a shipwreck. The first sentence is in while beavers blah blah blah, and the second sentence is they discover a shipwreck. Then two sentences here, they mix into one sentence, and we can call this sentence by complex sentences. Now, because this is pronunciation, we can practice to follow the word, each word, and then we have to notice about which one of the word that is read. And then we can see from the slide, there are a pattern like this. So that is means that we can put the intonations in that word to make sure that we will listen together from the speaker.
Page 23, Exercise 4, Pronunciation. Intonation in complex sentences. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice how each clause in a complex sentence has its own intonation pattern.
While divers were working off the coast of Florida, they discovered a shipwreck.
As Jake was running toward the ball, he tripped and kicked it into the wrong goal.
Okay, so only two examples, but you can repeat again and again to make sure that how we can pronounce and then notice the intonations for complex sentences. Okay, so we will move again and we come back to listenings about in the news. From the slide, we will see 4 pictures here, and you have to make the number from number 1 and number 3, and then one picture what pictures. Then you will listen again with the same audio speakers, and then you have to take some notes on each story. There will be 3 questions that you have to find from the speaker. The first is, where did it happen? So seeing from the question is, we have to find the name of the locations. And then the second question is, when did it happen? And the last question is, what happened? So you have to find the informations from the audio speakers. So you have to pay attention. I will play the audio speakers.
Page 24, Exercise 5, Listening. In the news. Part A. Listen to 3 news stories. Number the pictures from 1 to 3. There is 1 extra picture. 1.
A man was seriously injured on Sunday by a 3.5-meter snake in a town in Thailand. It seems that the man ran over to see the snake after friends told him that it was beside one of the town's main roads. The man put it around his neck, and while he and his friends were walking home, the snake squeezed more and more tightly. Luckily, the man got the snake off his neck in time.
2.
2 teenage girls who disappeared from a ship were found alive and well. The girls turned up on Friday near a small town on the northeast coast of Australia. The girls said they were visiting a friend on the ship and fell asleep in their friend's cabin. When they woke up, the ship was heading for Singapore. So they jumped off the ship, swam to shore, and had to walk for several days to get to the nearest town.
3.
Early Tuesday morning in California, 2 police officers were chasing a car thief when they suddenly lost control of their vehicle and drove into a river. Surprisingly, the thief went back to the scene of the accident and helped rescue the officers from the river. The local police department dropped all charges against the thief for saving the officers' lives.
Okay, so there are three speakers, and you have to find which speakers belong to which picture. And then don't forget to play once again to find for the exercise B. You have to find the answer from three questions: where, when, and what. Okay, so we move to the next slide. Okay, today we are going to writing such as a previous meeting, and then you have to write about a news story. If you read from your book, we have writing for the exercise A, B, and C. For A, match its headline with the beginning of a news stories. So your duty is you have to match with the headline and also about a news story. Which one for number one, lucky discovery for French girl, and then you have to match number one, say for example, C, number two, B, and so on. So you have to match. And we move to exercise B. Complete one of the news stories from part A, or write a news story using your own idea. First, you have to answer these questions, then write your article. So, who was involved? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And what happened? And then C, group work. I think it is impossible if you want to make a group work. So this is individual. So your duty, is you have to make your own writing. You have to find a new story, and then don't forget to make the title. The title for the story, it must be eye-catching. So you can find many events or maybe problems that happens around your home or around in your area right now. Then you can make a brief writing, a short writing, only in one paper. Then you have to make it into the PDF. Then you can upload into e-learning. And I will go visit e-learning to make your score. And then every single students that have already uploaded means that you have already come to my class. So I think that's all about our class. If you do not understand, you can text me by WhatsApp group. So don't be afraid, just feel free. You can ask questions if you don't understand about our material today. That is what a story. So I think enough. If you found any mistake for me, please forgive me. And let's close our program by reading Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. And doa kafaratul majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu alla ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. See you next week. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much.